Yes, I love this land. It takes my breath away.
Welcome to Texas 10. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Steve.
And we have been traveling the roads of Texas for the last 5 years.
There's a lot of them.
There are a lot of them. And today I think we should do one that's kind of close to home. Let's go to San Marcos, Texas.
Well, it's a major road that it's off of. You go to I-35, cuts right through the heart of Texas. San Marcos is just south of Austin on I-35, and it's right off I-35. Right.
Some people know it for Texas State, or as we used to know it, Southwest Texas.
Well, so that's an interesting thing you mentioned. A lot of people remember the movie Necessary Roughness, starring Kathy Ireland, where she was a women's football coach, I think, or a kicker on the team. I just remember Kathy Ireland. But,
of course you do.
But she coached the Texas State University team when there wasn't a Texas State, and it was the Texas State Armadillos, I think.
Something, yeah.
Right. And their first opponent during the season was they played the Bobcats. Well, it turns out
Texas State's their mascot is the Bobcats.
And they're the former Southwest Texas University.
Right.
And actually, if you go farther back, the Southwest Texas Teachers College.
Right.
Where one of our presidents went to school. You're stunned. Lyndon Baines Johnson went to school.
Oh, I knew that.
You knew that,
yes.
At Southwest Texas State.
So it is, let's start there.
Okay.
It's a beautiful campus, and it has a marvelous art collection called the Whitcliffe Collection. And it also has traveling exhibits as well. In fact, when we were there, it was an exhibit that I loved. It was 50 years of Roy Benson and Asleep at the Wheel.
And what could be more Texan than Asleep at the Wheel?
They even had Bob Wills' fiddle.
Right.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Loved it.
Yes, and so that was great. When I say what could be more Texan, maybe one of the few possible things is Lonesome Dove, the story of Lonesome Dove. And they also had an exhibit about Lonesome Dove and the making of Lonesome Dove. And I believe they also had a pretty cool it's actually a pretty comprehensive collection. And so make sure you spend some time, go up to the campus. You got to go up to the campus,
right,
by the way, because there's a hill there, but it's a great view. There's an archway that looks out over the city, and you look through the arch, and that's a pretty cool view.
It's really beautiful.
Right, and it was graduation weekend.
Right, so everybody was taking their graduation pictures, and
right.
So it was really fun. And
in any city of San Marcos' size that has a university, Texas State has grown from what it used to be, and it's like 30, 35, 40,000 students now. A school will tend to dominate the life of the city when it's a school of that size. And you go downtown, and sure enough, it dominates.
I will tell you, we brought the average age on that square down on Friday and Saturday night way up.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So
and so there's a lot of great places in San Marcos to have a good time doing a little bit of nightlife.
Right.
There's bars all downtown. I remember there was one where there was the swing. It was one of the first times we saw a swinging bar.
Yes. There were porch swings you got to swing in,
okay, right.
Which I really love because I love a good porch swing.
Right, a good drink and a porch swing, that's pretty good. And there's all sorts of stuff to do downtown. The Mark Theater, M-A-R-C Theater, is downtown, and it's a redone theater. I love the old theaters, right? And this one hosts a ton of concerts.
Right. And it's really funny because it is kind of all bars. One of my favorite signs was it was actually one that had closed down, but they had left a sign that said, "I love beer so much." So it's very appropriate.
Right.
So you make it through the night, right? And there's this cute cookie shop that's called Insomnia Cookies for the students. I thought that was great. And they did have good cookies.
Right.
And then
if you want a remedy the next morning, I would go to Cafe on the Square.
Oh my goodness, so good. But I was going to say I would go to Gill's and get those Mansky rolls.
Right.
Holy moly. Forget your diet that weekend. Girls, it is so worth every calorie. Oh, so good.
So Gill's Broiler it's one of those college places, right? That when you think back to college, you're like, man, I love that place. And I'm sure everybody that ever went to Southwest Texas State / Texas State, whatever they're calling it these days, remembers Gill's Broiler. And it's a hamburger place,
right?
But they've got these, what they call Mansky rolls. And like Melissa was saying, man, it is heaven in your mouth. It is awesome.
It is a cinnamon roll plus.
Right.
It was really good.
Right.
And then if you want a little treat later, go to Red's Ice Cream, because that was really great too.
That was. And there is shopping around the square, a lot of vintage shopping, a lot of, if I want to be a cool college student, that's a good place to shop.
Right.
I didn't quite pull off some of that, but
it was really a lot of fun. And then there was another fun bar in the afternoon. It was called Putt Pub. And it was really fun. They had a little putt course. They had tetherball. They had, these guys must love golf because the inside's all PGA golf. So it was really a fun place to have an afternoon drink or just relax.
And particularly if you got a group, and it's kid friendly too, because they've got all of these games. So if you want to sort of sit on the porch and relax a little bit and let the kids run around, it was a great place. If you're older kids, that's a great place too.
And then if you have kids, one of my memories of San Marcos when I was a little girl was Aquarina Springs.
Woo! Older Texans know about Aquarina Springs.
And so you would go, and they had these mermaids, and they had a swimming pig. Do you remember the swimming pig?
Yes.
And they had glass bottom boats, so you would ride around. Was it on a lake or the river?
On the San Marcos River.
And you ride around, and you'd see the swimming pig, and you'd see mermaids everywhere. Well, Aquarina Springs is no longer there, but they have these mermaid statues all over the city, and you can actually go on the scavenger hunt to find all the mermaids, which we did. And they were really cool. Everyone was very different.
They were, and there are different towns. I think Galveston has the turtles, Waxahachie has the hearts. I'm going to say the mermaids of San Marcos are the best town representative. And while we don't have Aquarina Springs anymore, they still have the glass bottom boats. And unfortunately, we had booked the glass bottom boats.
Oh, right.
But Steve did the booking, and it didn't turn out quite right because it was booked for Thursday when we didn't arrive till Friday. And I will tell you to book ahead if you want the glass bottom boat tours, because they fill up.
We could not get on.
But the San Marcos River it's wide, it's cold, it has a little bit of rapids, you can rent kayaks. It's a beautiful river just to spend the day on. It's supposedly a good fishing river. I've never fished it, but we saw people canoeing.
Yeah. And you can also intertube. There were tubers floating the river. So it's a really fun, and they have beautiful parks that you can launch your rafts on. So that's day. A lot of fun things in the day, but the nighttime may be one of my best memories from our trips, because it was not long after COVID. We love music, and we ended up
at Cheatham Street Warehouse. And so this was, we talked about the downtown. I mean, it's not like San Marcos is that big. This isn't exactly downtown. But Cheatham Street Warehouse is one of Texas' most famous honky tonks. It is what you think of when you think of a honky tonk. It's like a corrugated metal building. It's not fancy.
Not fancy. Wear your boots.
Right. We went to see Paul Cawthon, the Big Velvet, they call him, because he's got such a powerful voice. And he blew the roof off. He was great, and you got the whole experience. People were very excited to be out because, like Melissa said, it was right after COVID. And it brought to mind one of the reasons Cheatham Street Warehouse is so big is it was the starting place for one of our greatest artists, George Strait.
Yes.
Right. So George Strait and the Ace of the Hole band, that's where they got their start. And so when you have a pedigree like that, that is a bucket list honky tonk.
Well, and the great thing about it is a lot of college towns too have a lot of college kids or college bands, and so they give opportunity for a lot of people to play there. You should go for sure.
I'm going to say highlight Cheatham Street Warehouse. If there's one thing you do when you're in San Marcos, make it out to the Cheatham Street Warehouse.
And Hays County, it's got a beautiful courthouse. But the thing about Hays County, San Marcos is great, and there's a lot to do. You can go with kids, or it can be a great adult trip. But
there's a huge outlet mall if you're into that.
Yeah, if you're into that. but there's also other little towns around it that are also great. Dripping Springs, which I think is now the wedding capital of Texas. We've been to several weddings in Dripping Springs, and they have, wineries. That's where they make Tito's. I really love Tito's.
Driftwood, Buda, Kyle, Wimberley, they're all in Hays County. And we may do a separate episode on the rest of Hays County. A lot of little artist colonies, a lot of music. We saw Roger Klein in one of those places.
We saw him on the square.
Right.
Didn't we?
No, we went to.
Oh,
yes.
You're right. Sorry. But we did go to a concert at the theater in the square once.
Right. We saw the Band of Heathens at
That
the
was
Mark.
it.
Right.
That was it.
So it is the epicenter, and it is not Austin, right? Austin's a great city, and it's got its own personality and whatnot. San Marcos is its own thing, and people say it's so close to Austin. It's got its own character. It's got great places to have a good time. It's got great restaurants, both high-end, low-end, and just fantastic scenery. So, I mean, and it's easy to get to because we started, it's just right off I-35.
So if you're taking a week-long vacation, you can hit San Marcos, you can hit Austin, you can hit New Braunfels, you can go to San Antonio. San Marcos, don't just drive through it. It's worth a stop, and it's worth a night or two.
Right. And if you want to know a little bit more about San Marcos or any of the other places we talk about, go to texas10.com, look at our field guides, and we'll give you all of the info that we can't get in 10 minutes.
We hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
And I love this land. It takes my breath away. From the Palo Duro to the Gulf Coast plain, from the heart of the hill country to the piney wood shade, I love this land. It takes my breath away.